Welcome to this Poet Network Administration Phase 1 training session, which is about setup configuration. Before we dive into the core contents of this course, let's quickly go over the prerequisites. Getting started with Opus, getting started with Poet, managing DSESA exceptions using Poet, getting started with Opus reports and dashboards, otherwise known as ORD, configuring Poet with Opus Solution Environment, otherwise known as OSE. If you've completed these training sessions, you're on track. These courses build the foundations, so you'll want to be comfortable with the basic capabilities. So on the agenda, we're going to start with talking about what is a digital twin, then how to manage roles and user access, how to download a standard marketplace solution as a company solution, how to create a network and apply the company solution to it, how to assign and own a user to a network, how to configure Poet process networks. We'll then take a look at how to onboard a partner and network linking. And finally, we'll test the configuration. So what is a digital twin? You may remember the concept of the digital twin from previous courses. One of the key components of the network is the digital twin. A digital twin is a digital copy of your company, its locations, and all of its possible global identifiers represented on our network. Basically, administration is the management of your digital twin, as well as the modeling of your supply chain network and orchestrations in the digital world. The structure of your digital twin consists of process networks. Process networks create shared digital workspaces to orchestrate different kinds of business processes, like logistics and manufacturing through a single platform. Partners and links. You build and expand your process networks by adding supply chain partners to your database. Users. You define a user's access based on the relationship that user has with business processes and partners. Now let's take a look at how to manage roles and user access. Each role comes with specific responsibilities and access levels, ensuring the right people have the right permissions. Regardless of the application, there are two main types of roles: administrator roles and member roles. Just note in Opus, you have to have a member role to access the application. For administrative functions, we have admin roles. There are two main types of roles. The system administrator has full access to administration functions. This is for any app or network and configuration. This is basically a super admin, and this is similar to the company administrator role in TTS, except that this administrator can assign any role. But in TTS, you can only assign the app manager role. Application administrators, similar to application managers in TTS, have administrative access to the applications for which they are administrators. However, unlike application managers in TTS, they don't have access to that application. It's important to remember that no matter which admin role the user has, in order to access a network, they need to be assigned a member role on that network. System administrators can assign the member role for any network to themselves. Application administrators can assign a member role for the app they administer to themselves. Also note that partners have these same roles for their digital twins. However, only owners can create process networks and link. In Poet, roles are assigned at the network level to control what a user can access within the collaboration network established between your company and a trading partner. Poet is set up as a network between the company and partner to establish a collaboration channel between your company and a trading partner, for example, supplier. In this context, your company, the one configuring the Poet network, is the owner side of the network. Your trading partner participates as the partner member side of the network. When assigning roles in Poet, the setup guide lists these roles in the Manage Roles panel. Member Expanded Access. This is the role you assign to your users on your company member side for the Poet network access. Partner Member. This is the role you assign for the trading partner side to participate in the Poet network. Now how to download a standard marketplace solution as a company solution. So here is the lab activity you're going to perform in this class. Let's understand this use case in detail. Here's the business context. Medivonic is a marketing authorization holder, or MAH. Under the Drug Supply Chain Security Act, or DSCSA, Medivonic is legally responsible for managing suspect or illegitimate product scenarios and ensuring that compliance-related exceptions are handled in a structured and traceable manner. As part of its distribution network, Medivonic works directly with Renderico, a wholesale trading partner. Renderico receives serialized pharmaceutical products from Medivonic and distributes them downstream to pharmacies and healthcare providers. This is the business challenge. Under DSCSA requirements, if Renderico identifies a potentially suspect product, for example, due to a barcode scanning issue or data mismatch, the related compliance exception details must be exchanged between the trade partners. Medivonic must then review the exception details, investigate the issue, and take the appropriate follow-up actions within the required regulatory timelines. This process can't be handled informally. It must be structured, traceable, secure, and fully auditable. Both companies must be digitally connected through a POET process network to exchange compliance exception details. The business solution. To achieve this, Medivonic must address three key requirements. First, Medivonic needs to create a process network. This means modeling the compliance exception workflow so that exception details can be exchanged, reviewed, tracked, and resolved between Medivonic and Renderico. Then, Medivonic must complete partner onboarding and network linking. This involves digitally connecting Renderico within the network and formally establishing the business relationship so compliance exception details can be exchanged between the two trade partners. Finally, Medivonic must manage roles and user access. This will ensure that the right users have the right permissions and that sensitive data is visible only to authorized individuals. Without a properly configured process network, Medivonic risks delayed exception handling, compliance gaps, regulatory exposure, and supply chain disruptions. So in this lab, you'll create the two-party DSCSA compliance exception process network in POET, configure the POET process network between Medivonic and Renderico, assign roles and permissions, and ensure the process supports the exchange of compliance exception details between the trade partners. Now, let's see how you can help solve these challenges. Your role in this activity. You will take the role of a system administrator working at POET Owner. You will use the Opus Link Lab environments provided to you. You will use the administration application to add and configure the POET process network to meet POET Owner's specific business needs. These are the key responsibilities. Lab 1, save a standard marketplace solution as a company solution. Lab 2, create a network and apply the company solution to it. Lab 3, assign owner users to the network. Lab 4A, extract values from base object subtype process network. Lab 4B, perform process network configuration. Lab 5A, add new partner-to-partner master data. Lab 5B, link to the partner. Lab 5C, assign the partner user to the network. And then Lab 6, test the configuration. This is what you'll need: a student guide with lab instructions, a custom lab datasheet, which will provide you with the data you'll use for your labs, and logins for your MAH company. To complete the labs, you need some companies to work with. We don't want you entering lab data into your company's official iTest or production instance, so you've each received a sandbox company, Opus Linked Labs OLL, in which you can complete your labs. Before we begin, please double-check you've been given a dedicated lab environment. A number is printed in the subject line of the email that contains the PDF. Your login is the username. Make sure you remove the X and put in your assigned number. For example, if your number is 10, your username is poetowner10. Open a browser to opus.tracinc.com enter your assigned username, and use the password. Password with a capital P1 hashtag. If you don't have an environment yet, please email tracinguniversity@tracing.com and we'll assign one and send the PDF and an assigned number. We strongly recommend you follow the steps in the PDF guide during the lab. It makes following along much faster. First, we're going to download a standard solution or a marketplace solution as a company solution in OSE. To get started with configuring the solution, you need to first save the standard solution or a marketplace solution as a company solution. Once you do that, the saved solution will be available in the Available Company Solutions section. This is necessary because you can't edit the standard solutions directly. Once you see the solution in the Available Company solution, you can edit the solution and configure it. Note that you need the Company Solution Designer role for it. Let's now see how to create a company solution in the next demo. Here I am in Opus. Go to the main menu and select Opus Solution Environment, OSE. Go to Marketplace Solutions, and we're going to apply a filter here, selecting Poet. Then Apply. We're going to take the latest version of this solution, DSCSA Exception Management. Click into it and Save As. Enter the solution name and apply. Just note the time it takes for the solution to appear in the catalogue may vary based on the solution's size and complexity. To view or edit the newly created company solution, go to the side menu and select Available and Company Solutions. And here's the solution I've just created. Just note when the solution state is edit and the value in the activated column shows no, it means you can still make changes to the solution. However, those changes will only take effect after the solution is activated. If a solution is already activated but still in the edit state, you can continue to configure it. In this case, any changes you make will be reflected in the active solution immediately, i.e. on the fly. Let's go into the solution itself. We're now in view mode. If we scroll down, we can see the action history. Here we can see the status is in progress. If it shows success, that means the solution is successfully downloaded. Now it's your turn to do lab 1. Please pause the recording. This lab should take about 4 minutes. Once you've completed the lab, please resume the recording. Let's quickly recall that with OSE you can effortlessly configure business objects, workflows, menus, pages, roles, and policies with an intuitive drag-and-drop interface. Please note, to stick with the scope of this course, we won't be covering any of these in detail. Now, how to create a network and apply a company solution to it. Now that we've created our solution, let's now create a network and apply the company solution to it. Now that the company solution is created in OSE, we need to create a network and apply the solution against the network to it. This makes the network run with the correct solution configuration, data model, pages, workflows, roles, and policies. We're now going to create a network and apply the company solution to it. Go to the main menu, and this time select Administration. Select Network and Apps, and Network and Apps. Click Add New. Select the application, Process Orchestration for Empowered Teams, otherwise known as POET. Enter the network name. Where you see the X, replace this with your assigned company number. Set the standard solution switch to no, and enter the company solution. In this case, DSCSA exception management. Then select Save. Now it's your turn to do Lab 2. This should take about 2 minutes. Please pause the recording and resume the recording once completed. Now, how to assign an owner user to the network. Now that we have created a network and applied the company solution to it, let's assign the owner user and their roles to the network. It's understood by now that the owner user should have member expanded access role, whereas the partner user should have the partner member role. In this demo, I'm going to assign the owner user to the network. Once again, in administration, go to users and network members. Select add new. User type is internal. Username. We'll be selecting this one. Application, again, this is for Poet. Network name. And the link name. In the roles section, we're going to select member with expanded access. Then save. Just note, after doing this, you need to log out and log back in again to the owner account to see the network. Now it's your turn to do Lab 3. This should take 2 minutes approximately. Once again, please pause the recording and resume once completed. So far, we've downloaded the standard or marketplace solution as a company solution. We've created a network and activated the company solution against the network and assigned the owner user to the network. Now we're going to configure the Poet process network. The process network configuration is required to set certain parameters such as the prefix, for example, WI-1, DSCSA-1, the default due date, the maximum number of comments to include in outbound emails and other settings. Just note, to run the API calls, the user must have system administrator access. I'm now going to show you how to extract values from the base object subtype process network. To run the API call, we need certain values related to the base object or subtype we created. We can retrieve these values from the browser. To do that, we need to go to My Networks from the main menu and select the network we created. Now, to run the API call, we need certain values related to the base object or subtype we created. We can retrieve these values from the browser. To do that, select My Networks from the main menu and select the network we created. If you only have one network, you'll automatically find it here displayed. Otherwise, you'll need to select it and click Go. To extract them, right-click anywhere on the page and select Inspect. Click on the network icon and select Compliance Exceptions. Then select any request with status 200 and type Fetch. Under the Headers tab in the Request Headers section, you'll find the company ID, Process Network ID, and bearer token for authorization. You'll need to copy these values and paste them in a notepad file and keep them handy. We're going to be using them in upcoming steps. Just note that the bearer token for authorization is short-lived. If it expires, just repeat the same process to get a new token. Now it's your turn to do Lab 4A. You'll be extracting the values from the base object subtype process network. So pause the recording and resume once completed. Here is the syntax of the network configuration API for base objects and its subtypes, such as compliance exceptions. In the syntax, enter the owner ID value that we've captured. Enter the process network ID value that we also captured. Here you can specify the desired number of recent comments to be included in the outbound email. In this example, it's set to the 3 latest emails. Here you can specify the type name. For base type, use the type name as is. For example, item, work item, list. For subtypes, use prefix with ext underscore tracelink underscore. For example, ext underscore tracelink underscore kappa exchanges. To look for the list of all subtype names, please refer to the student guide. Here you can specify the number of days for the default due date. In this example, it's set to 5 days from the creation of the base object or subtype. Here you can specify the prefix. Prefix is a custom value that you can set as the readable prefix of a display ID. For example, if the display ID is DSESA-123, then the prefix is DSESA. Here you can specify the outbound transaction flag. It indicates if the outbound transaction should be triggered for this object type or not. Set it with true or false. There are other configuration parameters as well, which are out of scope for this course, but you can learn about them in Poet B2B configurations. Now I'm going to show you how to perform the process network configuration. We will first download and execute an application to work with APIs such as Postman or any other similar tool. If you're using Postman, you can use the application without signing in by using the lightweight API client after execution. In the submenu, make sure you select Post. Then enter the URL that you've been provided with. Click the Authorization tab and select the type bearer token. Copy and paste the bearer token that you've copied from the previous exercise. Then go to Body, select Raw and JSON. Then here we're going to paste the syntax of Process Network Configuration API request. You need to make sure that you replace the owner ID and the process network ID with the values for your configuration. We recommend to copy and paste the Process Network Configuration API request into a Word document first and replace the owner ID here and the process network ID here and also here. Then copy, then send. The 200 OK status indicates the request completed successfully with no errors. Now it's your turn to do Lab 4B. Perform the process network configuration. Pause the recording and resume once completed. Now on to partner onboarding and network linking. We created our process network in Poet, but to create the entities to use the network, you need to add partners and link to them. If you're familiar with our TTS serialization applications, the concept is exactly the same. You're linking to a partner through a multi-enterprise application to exchange data. The main difference is you exchange serialization and compliance data in TTS, and you're exchanging business and supply chain data through Poet. To link your company with a partner company, you first need to add that partner in Partner Master Data. As a system administrator in Poet Owner, your goal is to digitally connect Poet Owner with Poet Partner in Poet so that you can securely exchange the data. To build and expand your Poet network, you must first define your partners in Partner Master Data. Before any data can be exchanged, Poet should clearly recognize who the partner is on the network and how they are identified. In Poet, a partner can be either an external company, such as your contract manufacturer Poet Partner, or an internal location, such as one of your own warehouses or manufacturing sites. Even though internal locations are part of your company, they can still be enabled for linking if digital data exchange is required. For example, if Poet Owner needed to exchange serialized data between corporate systems and an internal packaging site, that internal location could be linked to support inventory tracking and manufacturing transactions in the same structured way as an external partner. In your current business scenario, however, Poet Partner is an external contract manufacturer, so you will enter Poet Partner in your Partner Master Data. At a minimum, you must create the partner at the company level, but you also have the option to define specific partner locations. Why might you want to link to a partner location versus the partner company level? Linking at the location level may be appropriate if different sites of your partner company use different systems that require separate B2B connections or file formats, or represent different legal entities. So you want to keep their data separate. If the partner company operates as a single legal entity for owner products, linking at the company level is sufficient. Basically, to add Poet Partner and Partner Master data, you need the partner's name and at least one global identifier, like the GLN, SGLN, DUNS, HIN, etc. To support Poet transaction processing, several new company identifiers can be added to the Partner Master data, including Transaction Party ID, SBLC, UCC EDI communication, and telephone number. Remember, just as the Poet owner has its own digital twin, Poet Partner also has a digital twin, and the global identifier ensures that you connect to the correct entity. Think of the global identifier as the digital address of Poet Partner on the TraceSync network. Here's a quick question. If I want to separate the business processes I use with my internal locations from the processes I use with my CMO, how would I do that? The answer is I could create another process network specifically for my internal locations. I could apply the same configuration that I use for my external partners, or I could set up a simpler configuration that supports only the internal manufacturing transactions I need. So now I'm going to show you how to add a new partner to Partner Master data. From the main menu, navigate to Master Data, select Partner and Partners. Click on Add New, enter the partner name. In the Identifier section, select Add New, and we're going to enter a GLN in this case. Then enter the value. Switch the primary identifier to Yes, and apply. You'll see it appear in the table here. Then be sure to select Save. Now it's your turn to add the new partner to Partner Master data for Lab 5A. Please pause the recording and resume once completed. Now on to linking your partner. At this stage, you have configured the process network for your owner company and added your partner in Partner Master data. So TraceSync recognizes your partner's digital identity and associated network. The next step is to formally establish the digital link with the Poet partner. Creating the link confirms your partner's digital identity within the TraceSync network and adds it to your company's secure digital address book. If your partner's identifiers are not yet registered on the network, TraceSync's network operation team validates the partner information and their network presence before the link can be completed. The link represents a quasi-conduit through which you exchange data. I say quasi because there isn't an actual conduit. It simply means that TraceSync knows Poet owner as the MAH owner and knows Poet partner as the CMO partner, so TraceSync can use the linked app to send data back and forth. Establishing the link also enables a shared secure workspace that supports collaboration and data exchange. During this setup, Poet owner assigns the appropriate roles and permissions that Poet partner can then allocate to its team members. It's important to understand that it's you, as the owner of Poet, who provides the roles for your partner's team's access. It's best practice to link Opus multi-network apps on Opus, and for apps available on TTS and Opus, it's best to link them via TTS. Apps available only on TTS are linked through TTS. Now I'm going to show you how to link to your partner. In Administration, select Links and Network Links. Select Add New and your application, Poet, Network, and then your entity. This is Poet Partner. The Send Notification To field is optional. Then in the Roles section, select Partner Member role. Then Save. The new link is then created. Now it's your turn to link to your partner for Lab 5B. Please pause the recording and resume once completed. Now to assign the partner user to the network. As the final part of the configuration, we're going to assign the partner user to the network. To do this, you go to Administration again, Users, and Network Members. We select Add New, User Type as External, Email address, enter the email that's been provided. In the Network Information section, enter the application. This is Poet, network name, your link name. This is the partner 1, and roles, partner member. Then save. Now your turn to do Lab 5C, assigning the partner user to the network. Pause the recording and resume once completed. Now let's test the configuration. Go to My Networks, and we'll be selecting this network. Select Add New. Enter the title for the exception. Keep the business priority as medium. And for the category, let's choose Product No Data. Then save. Now let's add further details. Select Edit. Scroll down to the Participants section. In the assignee name, select Poet Partner. In the assignee user, select the email address for the partner. Then save. Now it's your turn to test the configuration and create a compliance exception from the UI. Pause the recording and resume when completed. I'm now going to test the configuration on the partner's side. Go to Partner Networks, and I'm going to select the relevant network for the owner, which was Poet Owner 12 in this case. Go. Here's the exception I just created. I can click into it and edit. I can move it to in progress state. And if I scroll down, I can upload any attachments. Then save. So that brings us to the end of this training session. First, we took a look at what a digital twin is, how to manage roles and user access, how to download a standard or marketplace solution as a company solution, how to create a network and apply the company solution to it, how to assign a user to a network, configure the Poet Process network, how to onboard a partner and link them. And finally, we tested the configuration. If you have any questions, please feel free to email traceLink University@tracelink.com. Thank you for your time today.